quitting social media was by far one of the best decisions that I've ever made in my life. Back in 2015, I had made the decision to completely cut everything off. And one of the biggest reasons why I made the decision is because I found myself wasting too much time with social media. I would have my phone and I would just be mindlessly scrolling. 10 minutes pass, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour pass. And then I'd be like, all right, let me get off my phone. Let me go do something. Let me go live life. Let me be a productive member of society. Only to find myself back on my phone in a matter of 20, 30 minutes. Right? Back in college, I had learned in psychology class about this one experiment, and I might be butchering this, all right? So don't take everything 100% to be true what I'm saying. But there's this experiment called, I believe, Pavlov's experiment or Pavlonian's experiment. I'm not quite sure. It's been a long time since I've dipped into that. But in this experiment, he has dogs and he has conditioned stimulus and unconditional stimulus. And basically, when he would, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, like I said, don't kill me here. I'm just trying to recall things from years ago. But he had a bell, and when he would ring this bell, he conditioned the dogs to basically begin to salivate, because when he would ring the bell, that's when food was coming. It was a conditioned stimulus, right? And obviously the unconditioned stimulus is the salivation that would occur if there was food, but he's creating an unconditional response by creating a conditioned response with the whole bell ringing. But aside from that, what I'm trying to get at with this is that social media is kind of the same way, right? It's like we go on there and it gives us these little bursts of dopamine, right? It makes us feel like almost accomplished, almost like we got a reward in a way if we have a like, if we have a follower, if we have a new post, if we have a message or something like that, or if they're just new things. It's constant new stimulus, and we are overloading ourselves in a sense, right? And it's like we're constantly searching for that next hit, that next hit, that next hit. That's why we spend so much time just scrolling, constantly just scrolling. Right? So that was one of the biggest reasons why I completely decided to cut off social media. Now, two other reasons why I really decided to cut off social media. One being that social media is a good platform to sell something, connect with people that you're close with, or just find inspiration in something that you're doing, right? But if you're not doing it for those purposes, 9 times out of 10, it's a huge cry for attention, right? And I speak for myself. Like I said, don't get butthurt by the things that I say. This is just my own experience. But I would find myself on social media, commenting on people's posts, putting up pictures, doing all this shit for attention, right? Like, I remember at one point I would post a ridiculous amount of selfies of my body being shredded and everything like that, so I could get attention, right? Compliments and whatnot. But you kind of start getting to the point where it's like, you don't really need the compliments. You don't need attention from other people for you to feel good, right? All you need is the attention of yourself. Like, if you validate yourself, if you could look in the mirror and just be happy with what you see, that means more than any compliment that you'll ever receive from anyone else about you. Right? And that's what I realized. I realized that I was wasting my time trying to get this validation from everyone else on social media, right? And it was just a huge waste of time. And the last reason why I decided to cut off social media was because I had started NoFap around that time, and let's be honest, you know, girls on social media, they tend to show a little extra. I'm not complaining, but you know, it is what it is, right? And when I started that journey, I decided that, hey, this isn't helping me. I have to cut this shit out for at least a while. And, I ended up cutting it off several months, and then I just never decided to get back into it, right? Going back into social media was just not something that I wanted to do. But I will say this. I will say this, because I don't want this video just to be me rambling on about why I quit social media. But the biggest thing that I really wanted to tell you guys in this video is that when we're on social media, when we are so hooked onto social media and we try to cut it off, 9 times out of 10, we usually end up replacing one poison with another, right? And it could be spending more time. Like, let's say you were on Instagram all the time, right? Cut off Instagram, you say, oh, I'm not going on Instagram anymore, but then you start going on Facebook all the time, or you start going on YouTube all the time, and you start watching all these videos and spending all your time, and then the same acts that you were doing mindlessly scrolling, you end up doing it on the other thing, right? And for me personally, the biggest thing that I started doing is I started researching a lot of things, and because I was researching a lot of things, it got to the point where I was mindlessly researching things, where I would constantly pick up my phone real quick to just look something up, and then as soon as I'm looking that one thing up, I start looking up something else, and another thing, then another thing, and then hours pass by and I'm just like, oh shit, where has my day gone? What have I done? I haven't done anything, just been on my phone, and my eyes hurt, my neck hurts from being in this weird position, right? So if you're gonna cut off social media, if you're gonna attempt to even do that, focus more on life, right? Focus more on living here in the present and just being more present overall in all situations versus constantly going to your phone, right? If you could just stop for a second, if you could take a day where you just completely get off your phone, you'll realize how hooked we are to our phones, right? Constantly checking for text messages, constantly checking for emails, constantly checking social medias, or constantly looking up things, or constantly looking at videos, or constantly listening to music, or constantly watching Netflix, or just some shit on our phones. We are literally slaves to our phone. So I believe strongly that cutting social media off is the first step to freeing yourself from your damn phone, yo. But that's all I have for you guys today. I do hope this video has helped you in one way, shape, or form. Like I said, it's just my experience. Take it as you will. If you like the video, make sure to like the video. If you like the content, make sure to subscribe. And if you do this and it works for you, and you start noticing how you're freeing yourself more, and you're being more present, living life better, or if you've already done this and it has worked for you already, and you're noticing the effects in your life, then go ahead and share this video, because everybody deserves to be free, and everybody deserves to live an amazing life. And with that, remember that time is now.